Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has issued a sharp rebuke to the Australian government following the deadly attack at Bondi Beach. Netanyahu says he warned Prime Minister Anthony Albanese months ago that Australian policies were fueling anti-Semitism. Here's what the Israeli leader said and how Australia is responding. And speaking at a government meeting in Dimona, Netanyahu revealed that he sent a letter to Albanese approximately 4 months ago. According to CNN, the letter was reportedly sent on August 17th. Netanyahu says he warned in that letter that Australian government policy was promoting and encouraging anti-Semitism in Australia. For context, around the time Netanyahu says he sent the letter, Australia had announced plans to recognize a Palestinian state. Netanyahu directly connected this policy decision to what he describes as rising anti-Semitism. Whether there is a causal link between the two is debated. In his statement, Netanyahu quoted from the letter he says he sent. "I wrote your call for a Palestinian state pours fuel on the anti-Semitic fire. It rewards Hamas terrorism. It emboldens those who menace Australian Jews and encourages the Jew hatred," Netanyahu said. He described anti-Semitism as a cancer that spreads when leaders stay silent. He directly addressed Albanese, saying, "You let the disease spread, and the result is the horrific attacks on Jews we saw today." The language was notably harsh for diplomatic communication. Netanyahu continued, "Instead, Prime Minister, you replaced weakness with weakness and appeasement with more appeasement. Your government did nothing to stop the spread of anti-Semitism in Australia. The accusation places blame squarely on Canberra." Netanyahu concluded with a stark warning. "You have to act because history will not forgive hesitation and weakness," he said. The statement suggests Israel views the Australian government's response to anti-Semitism as inadequate and consequential. Netanyahu made clear he expects action from Australia. "It requires the action of your government, which you are not taking," he said. The demand puts Canberra on notice. Canberra condemned the attack and avoided entering into a personal exchange with Netanyahu at that time, according to reports. Albanese called the attack an act of evil, anti-Semitism, terrorism that has struck the heart of our nation. He said an attack on Jewish Australians is an attack on every Australian. The Prime Minister's statement acknowledged the targeted nature of the attack against the Jewish community during one of their religious celebrations. The exchange highlights significant tensions between Israel and Australia. Israeli officials have reacted with horror and anger to the attack, with several accusing the Australian government of allowing a surge in anti-Semitism. Israel's Foreign Minister Gideon Saar also weighed in on X, writing that the Australian government, which received countless warning signs, must come to its senses. The coordinated messaging from Israeli officials suggests a deliberate diplomatic strategy to pressure Canberra. Australia was among the first countries to recognize the State of Israel in 1949. The two nations have maintained diplomatic ties for over 7 decades with significant trade, cultural, and security cooperation. This attack and the subsequent diplomatic fallout represent one of the most serious tests of that relationship in recent memory. Amid the horror, a story of heroism has emerged. Dramatic viral video captured a bystander tackling and disarming one of the gunmen during the attack. The man, identified as Ahmed al Ahmed, used parked cars as cover before charging the armed attacker and wrestling away his rifle. The footage shows the civilian approaching the gunman, engaging in a brief struggle and successfully disarming him. The gunman fled the scene as sirens approached. The video has been widely shared, with many praising the bystanders' courage. The video of Ahmed al Ahmed's intervention has spread rapidly across social media platforms, viewed millions of times within hours. News outlets around the world have featured the footage, with commentators highlighting the bravery required to confront an armed attacker. The clip has become one of the defining images of the attack. In a notable moment, Netanyahu specifically praised Ahmed al Ahmed's actions and his religious identity. "We saw the action of a brave man, turns out to be a Muslim brave man, and I salute him. That stopped one of these terrorists from killing innocent Jews," Netanyahu said. "The fact that a Muslim man risked his life to protect Jewish people at a Hanukkah celebration has resonated with many observers. Some see it as a powerful symbol of unity and shared humanity that transcends religious divisions. The moment stands in contrast to the hatred that motivated the attack." Jewish and Muslim community leaders have both highlighted Ahmed al Ahmed's actions as evidence that ordinary people can stand against hatred. Some have called for him to be formally recognized for his bravery. His intervention may have saved multiple lives, authorities say. Australia's Muslim community, numbering over 800,000 people, has also condemned the attack. Islamic leaders have expressed solidarity with the Jewish community and praised Ahmed al Ahmed's courage. Some have noted that his actions represent the true values of their faith, protecting innocent life regardless of religious differences. Authorities reported at least 16 dead and dozens injured. These figures reflect the latest official count at the time of publication, though numbers may continue to change as the investigation develops. The attack targeted a Hanukkah celebration at Bondi Beach and has been declared a terrorist incident. Among the victims is an Israeli citizen, according to Israel's foreign ministry. The wounded include 2 responding police officers and a senior media official from the Executive Council of Australian Jewry. Hospitals in Sydney have been treating the wounded, with some in critical condition. Police confirmed 2 suspects in the attack. One was killed at the scene while the other is in hospital in life-threatening condition. Both are now in police custody, according to authorities. The identities of the attackers have not been fully released. Police also confirmed that explosive devices were found in a vehicle near the attack site. Officers have secured and removed the devices. The discovery suggests a level of planning that authorities are still investigating. One of the central questions emerging from the investigation is how the attackers obtained their weapons. Australia has some of the world's strictest gun laws, implemented after the 1996 Port Arthur massacre. Investigators will likely focus on whether the weapons were obtained illegally, smuggled into the country, or acquired through other means. The attack has shaken Australia, a country where mass shootings have been rare for decades following sweeping reforms after Port Arthur. Netanyahu's argument connects Australia's foreign policy positions to the attack. He suggests that Australia's plans to recognize the Palestinian state and its perceived insufficient support for Israel have emboldened anti-Semites. Critics may argue this oversimplifies complex issues. The question of whether government foreign policy positions affect domestic hate incidents is debated among analysts. Some argue there can be connections. Others say such arguments are politically motivated. Some analysts and commentators have pushed back on Netanyahu's framing. They argue that connecting recognition of Palestinian statehood to domestic anti-Semitic violence oversimplifies complex social and political dynamics. Others note that anti-Semitic incidents have risen globally, regardless of individual countries' foreign policy positions. Australia's Jewish community numbers approximately 120,000 people. The community has historically felt safe in Australia, with many families having lived there for generations. This attack has fundamentally challenged that sense of security. Jewish community leaders have expressed devastation. Alex Rivchin of the Executive Council of Australian Jewry said the community's worst fears had been realized. "It's been bubbling under the surface for a long time, and now it's actually happened," he said. The attack has left many questioning their safety and future in Australia. The attack targeted a celebration of Hanukkah, the Jewish festival of lights. The timing adds particular pain, as families had gathered for what should have been a joyful community event. The symbolism of attacking a celebration of light and hope has not been lost on observers. The 8-day celebration is one of the most widely observed Jewish holidays, and the violence has transformed what should have been joy into mourning. The attack is likely to prompt increased security measures at Jewish events and religious gatherings globally. Security experts say the targeting of a public holiday celebration represents a nightmare scenario that communities have long feared. Synagogues, community centers, and public Jewish events may see heightened protection in the coming weeks and months. The attack has drawn condemnation from around the world. Leaders across political spectrums have expressed horror at violence targeting a religious celebration. The international response reflects global concern about rising anti-Semitism. Iran's foreign ministry also condemned the attack. Spokesman Esmail Baghei said, "We condemn the violent attack in Sydney, Australia. Terror and killing of human beings, wherever committed, is rejected and condemned." The statement is notable given regional tensions. NSW police say the investigation is ongoing. Authorities are examining how the attack was planned, how weapons and explosives were obtained, and whether anyone else was involved. The declaration as a terrorist incident has triggered additional investigative resources. Police have explicitly urged calm and asked the public to avoid any retribution. Australia is a multicultural society, and authorities are concerned about potential backlash. Maintaining social cohesion will be a priority in the coming days. The Albanese government now faces pressure from multiple directions. Israeli officials are demanding action on anti-Semitism. Domestic critics are asking questions about security. How the government responds may shape Australian politics in the months ahead. Opposition politicians in Australia have called for a full investigation into security failures and demanded answers about what intelligence agencies knew beforehand. Some have accused the government of not taking threats to the Jewish community seriously enough. The political debate is intensifying as the nation mourns. Amid the political tensions, Ahmed al Ahmed's heroic actions offer a different narrative. A Muslim man risking his life to save Jewish people at a Hanukkah celebration represents the kind of human solidarity that transcends political and religious divisions. His bravery has been recognized by leaders, including Netanyahu. As Australia mourns, difficult conversations lie ahead. Funerals will be held for the victims. The investigation will continue, and the debate about anti-Semitism, foreign policy, and community safety will intensify. For now, a nation grieves while the world watches. Behind the political accusations and policy debates are families who have lost loved ones. People went to celebrate Hanukkah and never came home. As more information emerges about the victims, their stories will remind the world of the human cost of hatred and violence.
Oh! Oh non, gros!